This week, Garen and Ellie continue on their cabin project. Ben begins repurposing school lockers, and we start our long-anticipated aquaponics system.
We're gonna put in this to your door, or I'm gonna start putting in the door. It's a massive opening. It means that we gotta frame it in just a little bit. Build these out like 6 inches on either side almost. That is what I'm gonna do. All right, our door frame is square and it's proper now. Took a little bit of weird fudging on certain stuff, but it's good. It's got like a, you know, double beam all the way around. Good and solid, it'll hold the door nicely. This should be pretty good.
Nice, looks good, babe.
I've never built a door frame before. It came together surprisingly well, and it's a super solid frame now.
We watched a video on mousetraps because we have a bit of a mice problem out by the goats. We'll link him in the description so you can see what he did. But basically it was a system where it had one pole with 2 tiny pole type things coming out from the sides. And then it would sit over the bucket and there would be some food in the middle, and when the mouse would come along, it would slip into the bucket. Caught like a mouse in a trap.
Now we're just gonna try one pole in the center. Mainly because we did the 2 poles and it didn't spin real good for us. We'll set it up tonight, put the camera on it, and see if we catch any.
So, this was a greenhouse we made a long time ago. We're deciding to use this space as a place for some aquaponic stuff we want to try out. But first, I wanted to get some of the mice out. So we're going to try these mouse traps. We'll have to bait them, put some food on there, maybe peanut butter.
We're gonna go see how many rats we caught.
We're off on a hero journey.
Actually not rats, what are they, mice I guess.
Mice, rats, whatever it is. The vermin. No, Mom.
Nothing?
Nothing.
I feel like we're on the show alone, coming out and checking those traps. Let's go check the other one. Anything?
No. Mildly disappointing. Yeah, then we'll clean everything out and put the barrels in.
We found these guys, little baby mice.
Fascinating, really. Aren't they?
Yeah, they really are.
The chickens are gonna love them.
Hey Jay, how's it going?
I'm gonna be getting an apartment. I wanna make kind of like a shoe rack, coat rack thing to go in the entranceway to my apartment. And these lockers are really, really fun. So we're gonna figure out how to make them look pretty. And then sand everything down individually, all rust off. Then we can get started putting it back together. I like to keep these colors, but just have a fresh coat. So these side panel doors, they normally open upwards. I plan to weld them all together and make one solid door that will swing out to the side like normal. So what I'm working on right now, grinding down all the sides. And once that is done, we can weld them all together and attach hinges to the lockers. This is my fashionable jacket. This is not the way you wear it when you weld. This is the way you wear it. Very stylish.
I'm 100% self-taught in this aspect. So I don't know if I'm the safest person to give safety recommendations.
Saying is I should ignore you and watch YouTube videos on how to do this.
Perfect.
If you go and watch YouTube videos on how to do this, you realize that they could be exactly like Bryson, who happens to be a YouTuber.
Go for it, Ben. I don't know how else to...
Want to just show him?
Well, I can't watch.
Yeah, you can't
Oh,
watch.
yeah.
That's the problem. So you have this edge right here, right? And then wire comes out there. As you weld, you want to kind of be at an angle. And then when you kind of get that going, following it down until you've got your piece welded.
As simple as a coloring book, or
Really
so
is.
Bryson says.
It's only one problem, Ben.
What?
It's not on.
Oh, you turned it off?
Yes.
Okay.
Stand back, quick, run!
Thanks for the vote of confidence. Oh, jeez.
It's actually kind of welded on there really well.
It looks good though. It does. I think it looks better than my first weld. I banged on it, popped right off.
So normally with these doors, there's a bit of a space in between each one. So I'm just welding on these little spacers so that when we stick them back into the lockers, they're gonna be the same size. We plan to sand these welds down once they're all done so we can get an idea of how strong they are, whether there's any spots we need to patch up again. And then we can paint them and put everything together.
Had a little trouble with the last tank with a little top heavy, so it kind of did some swaying and stuff, so we managed to pick up another tank and we're gonna go test it out.
Looks super cool.
Hey Al, what you doing?
Okay, so we're polyurethaning these posts.
We have some polyurethane here. We're gonna put that on the poles. Yeah, just sealing them in so that the weather doesn't keep eating them away. Definitely gonna look good. Seal them out from any water and keep that nice. We got them all polyurethane. Now they're gonna hold up to the elements a little better. The nice shiny rustic look.
We're off to the races. We're gonna go look at an aquaponics store.
She would be here with us, but we think she has parvo.
She doesn't have parvo.
We have had the flu bug going around though.
We have had it. And we're all still feeling it, but we're off to the aquaponics store.
Not
No
gonna
joke.
stop us.
Several hour drive. Potentially an all-day event, but guess
We'll
what?
all be back puking, but it's fine, whatever.
You know what?
We got the aquaponics.
Just to give you an idea, we have a contingency plan.
We literally brought a bucket because we were so concerned. We are out of our minds. We're here. Are you ready?
All in one piece. The
Nobody's
bucket
puked
is
yet. We're
still
good.
empty, so we're good.
We're good. Let's rock and roll.
We really learned a lot, changed kind of the whole idea of how we were doing this.
We're gonna do a bell siphon system, and then we learned that those aren't reliable. It works really well as having a flow system.
It sounds like for our area, I suppose in different areas it might be a little different, but we
Yeah,
learned
true.
in our area we should just have the water moving all the time.
We were gonna cut the tanks in half and do 2 grow beds, use our bigger tank for our water sub for the fish, but then we ran across a guy as
He's in the garden section of Walmart.
Yeah.
He's up on a ladder and he got so excited about his aquaponic
he just
system.
lit up over it. If I could take my entire garage and turn it into an aquaponic system,
His entire-
I would.
3-car garage.
Oh, 3 cars.
This
used to be really cool. We used to have, our gray water used to come in here and like feed 3 basins here, and Mom had trees and we had all kinds of stuff here. Over the times it's become this, a wasteland. He would do a pipe, fill it halfway up with the water, running water, and then he would do holes in the pipe which the bucket would set inside the pipe. That you only need enough rock to fill each container that's inside the pipe instead of filling it all up.
First thing we're gonna do is run out and see what kind of piping supplies we have just laying around.
And we know we have a lot back there, and it's a larger pipe too, which would be perfect for something like this. And I think each one of these are like 20 feet long. If we can somehow connect 4 of them together and run them down and then empty them out, or run them in some sort of V pattern. And it seems like those bigger systems, although nice, they use a lot of rock.
Rock should be like the least expensive part of the project, but it really was turning out to be the most expensive
And
part
I
of
would
the project.
imagine it would be way easier to clean a system that has piping, because then you just pull all the plants out, scrub it out with your hand or whatever. It would be probably good. Sub tanks over here, either 2 separate ones or 1 sub tank here, and then we run pipe along this way. Along that pipe, we'll be able to walk along and be able to tend the different things from that sub tank over there.
We were planning on putting it indoors, thought that would be the safest place for it. But both the guy at the aquaponics shop, who's been doing this for a long time, and the guy up there high in
On the
Walmart,
ladders and also doing it.
they both said absolutely outside. We got this new tank now, which looks awesome on the trailer. That means we can use this tank for aquaponics.
You know, Grandpa says if we get a big enough run at it, anything will fit. I don't know if there's truth to that, but
Oh my gosh, it's perfect.
we fit. Hey, we also have that big one too.
I know we have tons of tanks. Okay, we got sidetracked again, Bri.
Keep getting sidetracked. Put that tank away. We got a new one.
Yes.
We're planning on putting another tank here later on. We might as well put both tanks in now and not hassle with it later. This system suddenly got massive, but that's cool. The guy said at Walmart, he said, I put them in and it just gets too hot.
And he had to end up putting an air conditioner in his greenhouse, which would be absolutely ridiculous.
And we even said, we're like, what happens if it snows? He goes, oh, that's perfectly fine.
They're in the city, they're a little bit lower elevation than
Yeah.
us. They're not really getting the cold temperatures that we are, but both of them really felt like
they
that was
did.
good. We have the old gray water area that is no longer a gray water area in our courtyard because we have the system all set up differently now.
The guy at the aquaponics store recommended using a grinder and a cutting blade, which actually turned out really well. It cuts the plastic like you cannot believe. It gives a beautiful edge.
The thing about that area, it's a large area. We could really expand out there if it works.
We have a big green tank back there that could
Oh my
easily
goodness.
become a big sub for us. So this is gonna go like this for that side. I'm also gonna glue something on the inside too.
So all that rainwater collection that we were doing a year ago, now we have the centralized system. So we got all these extra containers around.
How does that look?
Looks good.
When you're walking right here too, that'll be a nice little level. You'll be able to see your fish, and your garden will start right there. That's your plants are.
The good news is we're back with new ideas. We didn't have to use the bucket,
Not yet.
so that was good.
I found ginger works really well apparently.
Yes, we gingered up the whole trip.
This will be the first time we actually don't use the bell siphon and we use a flow, which seems way better.
The aquaponics is just something too that's kind of nice that we're late to the party on it because there's lots and lots of people doing them and get online and start looking up this stuff. It's so overwhelming, all the different information that's available. Try to keep it as simple as we can and just move forward with our little experiment and hopefully it'll work great and we'll keep growing onto it.
It's gonna be awesome.
Get started on the shingles.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome to get this thing finished up. Well, we got the shingles. We ran out the other day. Had to go back to the store, unfortunately. We had leftover shingles and we only had 2 bundles. We ended up needing like 6, but we went to the store and bought 1. So then we had to go back to the store, which is not close. These shingles are a little smaller than the original ones we were putting on. And then it turns out the shingle size had changed. So we had smaller shingles than originally had, like by like 1.5 inches all the way around. So we had to tear back off what we had on one side, being careful not to rip it because we needed all the material, and then put it back on. And you can't tell because it's not, you just can't tell. All right, it's finished. Other than paint, this bad boy is done. I think it's gonna work pretty good. It's kind of an interesting connection between these two here, between the 2 roofs of the house and the awning, but it worked out and it's gonna be good because we were able to use these 6 poles that were already in the ground.
We were like, okay, it's gonna take us a while because it took, the cabin roof took us a little bit, but man, we got it done in like hours.
Got this side all nice and shingled. Looks the same now as the building. I will say though that the change to the small shingle laid out way nicer, so like it was good.
He's being a little dramatic. We only had to pull out like 5.
That's how I'm feeling today.
It's gonna be amazing, you guys.
We mouse hunting.
We are.
Hunting.
It looks very...
Oh, I see this.
When I first walked in there and saw the mousetrap, it was cracking me up because it was like this desert island.
Anything?
On second thought, maybe not.
Nothing?
Nothing could fall into it to get into the trap.
How are they supposed to get up onto there if there's nothing to get up onto there with?
Oh, Bryson,
Get in there.
we didn't even put it next to a thing.
Get out. How are they gonna come pick it up?
Shay did an awesome job with the floor. Is this the floor?
Truly a solid work of art.
Unfortunately, we're not even going to be using it because we're going to be building the aquaponics outdoors.
Well, we'll figure out what we're going to use it for.
It doesn't take away from the fact that it looks great in there. We'll have to do something different now.
Oh, this is gonna be so nice to have now too.
I gotta put a pipe in the center of the 2 tanks. So now I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Make sure if you use any silicone, make sure it's for aquarium safe because apparently the normal silicone, like for windows and showers and stuff, they have mold resistant stuff in it that if it gets in the fish tank, can actually kill a fish. So yeah, aquarium safe stuff. They said this could be tough. I didn't realize how tough they meant. I got figured out, I'll just slip it in there. Yeah, no, you're not just slipping it in there. You're manhandling it in. Wow. All right, all the pieces are in, including that. The tanks are now in. Next will be plumbing, putting pumps in, air pumps, and things like that.
How is the Yui? Yes, yes.
We're painting and I'm covering myself in paint, trying to figure this out. But we're getting it.
We decided to use the sprayer on the eaves because when you're painting with a brush and eaves, it just takes a long time. The sprayer, super fast, super easy.
This is not pink paint. This is a light red paint, and it was really supposed to be. It's a little lighter red than we wanted.
The paint is definitely a little pinker than we initially wanted. And for a little bit when we were putting it on, it was like, holy cow, this is gonna be super pink.
It's also pink thing all over again.
Yeah, it's the whole pink problem again. It was supposed to be red.
But it actually dried to a pretty nice red. Still a little lighter than we were hoping for, but definitely still gonna be perfect for what we're doing.
This bad boy is done, and that's a good feeling.
Okay, so Bryson's setting up the camera. We caught a mouse already.
Already in there. Look at him.
We can catch some more tonight.
We're on a mouse hunt. We're the great mouse detectives. I'm ready to see our bountiful harvest of mices.
Peanut butter's gone.
I think we may have gotten skunked.
But there was a mouse in there last night.
There
Okay,
was.
So maybe
We have a special weapon, a night vision camera that has caught any sort of treachery.
if the cats ate them, I think that they helped us out.
All right, let's go take a look at this footage.
Let's go see.
I want to see it. Oh, and I go.
Now there's nothing in there.
There's one eating the peanut butter.
How'd the guy in the bottom get out?
Look at him. He almost gets out.
We clearly see the mouse in the bucket on one scene, and then the next scene, it's gone. And he did a big leap. I'm thinking it jumped out.
Yeah.
The mice would fall in, and then they would hop around, and then the next shot of the camera we have, they're gone. Not like 2 or 3 of them that fell in, they just jumped out. Ah, we're so close. So that's like, oh, not much of a trap, you know, they get out. So the mice are outsmarting us by a little bit. They keep stealing all our peanut butter.
Alright, Caleb's painting these bracket thingies up there for the post. Right?
Post to the roof.
Alright, well they're looking good. That's old
Drip edge.
drip edge, yeah. It's old drip edge.
These are brackets Caleb made for us. They're gonna work so perfect. He's got them all bent up nice. This will just be here as an extra strap holding this roof on. Yeah, it's gonna look cool too, you know? One of the poles is kind of splitting at the top, and we're worried that over time it's gonna get worse. So we're just gonna put a strap around the top of each of the poles. I thought we'd do some sort of a strap around them just to keep them from separating any. And we thought we might as well do some barbed wire. The nice thing about the barbed wire is the little barbs are gonna kind of cut into the wood a little bit. And then that should fix that problem.
We have been receiving some dog toys in the mail. The dogs have been absolutely having a blast, so thank you so much for them. We've also been receiving some hair products, some skin products, as well as this really fancy little mixer here, but they didn't have a note, so it looks like we're supposed to make something, but we don't know what it is. So if you sent any of these items, please let us know, and we will try out what you had in mind, if you had anything in mind. And if not, we just really wanted to just say thank you so much for all the wonderful gifts. So fun, you know? So thank you. Well, that wraps up this week. The design of the week is this one here. A chicken and a mouse in a bucket, which might remind you of something. If you'd like to pick this up or any of our other past designs, you are welcome to. The link will be down in the description. We have it on t-shirts, sweatshirts, baseball shirts, tank tops, anything that you can think of, we've probably got it in shop. So if you'd like to check that out, be sure to down below. We really appreciate you being a part of our family, and we look forward to hanging out with you next Friday. Bye!
Thank you!
And you can't tell because it's not, I mean, it's not, you just can't tell because it's so small and they're different size, but
Okay.
Okay.
You have a stick in your hand.
Thanks, kid.
So,
Well, thy fingers into one finger.
You know how in the Carport show, at the end of every episode, she would tug on her ear. It was a secret code to say hi to her grandma. Hi, Mom.
Our family moved from the city to the country. Thanks for taking part in our adventure. We have new videos every Friday evening. If you would like to help us out, you can like this video, share it, subscribe, or support us on Patreon. See the links in the description.
It's so dirty. The colors don't matter at all. We're repainting them.
yeah, why
Oh, you repeat. Ben was just doing this. Damask. It's damask.
Okay.